A Friday morning, ending the work week on this 9/11. Of course, this is a pretty sobering day for our nation as we think about the attacks 19 years ago today. But this hour, also, we're going to talk about something that's actually coming up this weekend, which is Grandparents' Day.
Ooh.
And that is on Sunday. So, what's so amazing, wonderful, or interesting about your grandma and grandpa? Have some interesting fact about your grandma or grandpa?
Yeah, you can actually comment on our live stream.
Yeah.
The Mid-Morning Show Coffee Break is up and running, and so you can drop off
Hello.
a question there and let us know about something really cool and amazing about your grandparents.
And you can also give us a call. Actually, text us 800 221 9356. Here's Johnny Diaz getting us started with Scars on Moody Radio, Quad Cities. So, Jeremy,
Yes.
this is the second day we've had a title of a song with Scars.
Scars. You
And
don't really enjoy
I
that.
do not like introducing songs about scars because that the title is Scars, because I'll always say, "Here's Johnny Diaz with Scars," and or who was the other person?
It's I am they.
I am they with
I
scars.
am they with scars.
Can you pick another song? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that did.
It's just an awkward song to introduce.
It is. It is. Well, we had that one story, and there are so many songs like that that are awkward to introduce. We had the one song where it's Danny Goki's "Tell Your Heart to Beat Again."
Okay.
And we had a caller call in, and they were talking about. Let's see. It was an April Fool's Day, and they were sharing about how their dad had loved practical jokes.
Right.
And he passed away on April 1st, and we were just kind of like, it's one of those conversations that kind of just catch us off guard,
Right.
because we didn't see that ending
Right.
coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're transitioning into the song, and Ken turns, he's like, and now it's "Tell Your Heart to Beat Again." And
Yeah.
sometimes song titles
I
can
know.
cause very awkward.
We've had our
transitions.
moments, haven't we?
We have.
So let's get back on topic. How about grandmas and grandpas? Do you have
Grandmas
any-
and grandpas. Any comments show up yet? I don't have a computer in front of me.
No, you don't. Well, you know what I was going to do today? I was going to try to look at my phone, actually, and see if that would make it easier for me to find the comments, because I have trouble finding the comments on, but I got some of them. Phyllis is with us. Good morning, Phyllis. Heidi's there, and Jordan, it's nice to have you with us this morning. Sure. So I got the idea yesterday of just going to my phone and reading the comments on my phone. That might be easier. But so I'm hearing myself too. Okay, I've got to figure out how to get rid of this. Oh.
Oh, that is really bad.
Mary's with us too. Good morning, Mary. And she says good morning with some sunshine. We need some sun this morning.
Yeah.
It's kind of dreary out this morning. Hey, it's working.
There we go.
That is Johnny Diaz this morning here on Ken and Deb in the Morning. We're glad to have you along with us, and we're also live on Facebook streaming there. And it is our mid-morning show coffee mid-morning show coffee break if you want to join us there. And talking about grandparents, and tell us something amazing, wonderful, and interesting about your grandma or grandpa. We've got Grandparents' Day coming up on Sunday. And in just a few minutes, we're going to be talking with Isabel Tom, who wrote a book about the value of wrinkles and talks about the value of those that are elderly and old and how we need to honor them, honor their wisdom, not discount their ideas, and just really the value of the wisdom that comes with age. And so looking forward to that conversation. But what's so wonderful, amazing, interesting about your grandma or grandpa? Now, I did not know my grandpas, so didn't know them at all. But I had a grandma that lived in Chicago. She loved the Moody bookstore. She would have lived at the Moody bookstore. I mean, she bought so many Moody published books. I mean, her whole library, just remember going to her house, just filled with books. And she loved to read, even though, you know, most of her life was spent really working hard, and I don't think she, you know, she wasn't able to go to college or anything like that. But she loved to read books from Moody Publishing, had tons of material from them. And I remember that as a kid, just all the books.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. We have that in common. Because
Yeah,
I love to read too.
Yeah, and you've got a ton of Moody books in your office as well.
And I'm going to get rid of them, some of them next week.
That's right.
At our bookmobile. So we'll tell you more information about that. But what do you love about your grandma, grandpa? What's something amazing, wonderful, or interesting? Something nobody knows. Give us a call, 800-221-9356.
All right, I gotta go find a battery. I'm trying to fix the audio for the.
Oh, okay.
So just talk to
Oh,
your friends.
can they still hear me?
Oh yes, they
Oh,
can.
hi. You can still hear me.
It's
Good.
just not as great a quality sound right now.
Oh, okay. Nancy and Lori and Phyllis is asking, isn't this Funny Friday? I think actually that's supposed to be next week, the third Friday, so, but it's coming up. Or is it Freaky Friday? That's always Freaky Friday with me here, Phyllis. So what's something amazing, unique, maybe some little fact about your grandma or grandpa that that you think is really interesting and you want to share with us this morning? It's wonderful to have a grandma and grandpa in your life. That's my parents were older when I was born, so I didn't get much time with my grandmas. But I had one grandma in particular that I knew quite well. She was the one that lived in Chicago. And so maybe you would like to share something about your grandparents. Shelley says, back in the 60s and 70s, my grandma shipped over 2 tons of clothing to Christian orphanages. She would pack the boxes and then depend on the Lord to provide the money for shipping. What a neat story. Wow, what a servant. Wow, that's really cool, Shelley. Heidi, my grandma taught me to pray. She used to listen on the party line in the dark rocking chair. She never gossiped, though. She was a fabulous cook, a farm cook, and taught me how to feed an army and how to be frugal. That's really neat. What great memories, guys. Thank you so much for sharing those. And if you have a grandma story or grandpa story, we hope that you would put right here on Facebook your comment or give us a call at 800-221-9356 or text us this morning. And just thankful for our grandmas and grandpas. They're such treasures. In fact, I was reading an article yesterday that a lot of grandmas and grandpas right now are teaching the kids at home. They're really filling the gap for online learning and helping their grandkids learn online, being with them during the day and helping them through their schoolwork. And so a lot of grandmas and grandpas going above and beyond in this season as we're going through coronavirus. So tell us about your grandma and grandpa this morning on Ken and Deb in the Morning. It's 7:10. We're going to get back to on the air here in a second, so I'm going to focus on that, but be thinking about those special things about grandma and grandpa. It's 7:10 in the morning, and coming up Sunday, it's Grandparents' Day, and so we really want to honor our grandmas and grandpas, kind of take a look at their lives, something special or unique or fun about grandma or grandpa that you want to share this morning. Phone number 800-221-9356. I was mentioning on our live stream, which you can comment there on our mid-morning show coffee break, but Jeremy,
Yes.
it's a Friday. Jason, Jeremy, Jared. Why do you always start with a J? Anyway.
Oh, Jared's a G, but.
That's true. I know, but it's just sound. To me, it's all you know. But
What were you saying?
Jeremy, I was talking about the fact that I really didn't know my grandparents very well, but you have grandparents that you're able to hang out with which is really neat. I mean, you're able to hang out with them.
Yes,
That's a cool thing.
it's cool to be able to see my grandpa still.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's a treasure in your life, just being able to, go out to eat, or it's wonderful when grandparents like give you $20 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom used to do that with my kids. We'd go and visit, and then I'd turn away, and she'd, slyly go up to them in her wheelchair, and she'd put her hand in theirs and say, "Don't tell your mom." There'd be a $20 bill in there.
Yeah,
so.
they find ways to sneak that in. I know my grandfathers, they'll need tech support with their TVs, and then they'll be like, "Here's $5, and I owe you a trip to a restaurant."
Oh, see, isn't that nice? That's nice. So tell us your grandma and grandpa stories this morning. 800-221-9356. Here's music from We the Kingdom as we head through a Friday, last day of the work week, here at Ken and Deb in the Morning. Well, Jordan said one fact about his grandma is when she was living in New Mexico, she would always make him chocolate chip cookies. Oh, I love chocolate chip cookies, Jordan, especially right when they're out of the oven. There is nothing better than a warm chocolate chip cookie. That's another one of those comforting things with a big, tall glass of milk or some, big bowl of ice cream with them. Grace, nice to have you listening in this morning, too, and here's a big shout out to all you grandma and grandpas who are listening this morning. I hope you feel very honored on Sunday and are able to, enjoy some time with your grandchildren or with your children as well. Maybe you'd like to share something this morning about what you love about being a grandparent. That would be another thing to think about as we celebrate Grandparents' Day. Coming up on Sunday, September 13th, so don't forget about that. Maybe make a card or give a call to your grandparent. We're talking about unique or interesting things about your grandparents. I never met my grandfather, but my one grandfather was a mortician, and he had a child that was a mortician, and that mortician had a child who's a mortician. So that has gone through our family, and that's just one little interesting factoid from my family history. But we'd love to hear yours. Comment right here on Facebook Live as we're live streaming this morning, and Jeremy's kind of in the background doing something. You're really busy.
Yeah, I'm trying to get our
Oh, he's putting in
audio
new batteries.
fixed.
Okay. I'll let you do your battery thing. Sorry about that. Didn't see that at first, what you were up to. I like to keep tabs on everybody.
All right, well, I'm going to try this out, see
Okay.
if it fixes the...
I won't know for about 30 seconds, so now we pray.
Thank you, Lord, that we can come to you with all these issues that we have in the morning. And thinking of schedules and people being here, Ken will be back on Monday. Looking forward to that and wondering what he'll do on Grandparents' Day. He has a whole passel of grandkids.
Yes.
As one of his kids has 6 kids. So I think totally there's there were going to be over 20 people at his house last week or this week. I don't know if they're still there or not, but love to hear something special about your grandparents. Maybe they did an interesting job, or maybe they took you to work with them, or maybe they owned a business and you were able to learn something about work through them. I think I met a grandma and granddaughter. That's, I think, the relationship when I was on vacation. They were working in a cafe out in Colorado, making sandwiches together, and it was the grandma's business. And it's really neat. You can learn so much from those that have gone before us, and what a treasure. I keep using that word, but it's a treasure to have that relationship, because not everybody gets to experience that.
Mm-hmm.
And that is We the Kingdom with Holy Water on this Friday morning here in the Quad Cities. And coming up on Sunday, it is Grandparents' Day. And in just a few minutes, I'm looking forward to talking with Isabel Tom, who has written a book about the value of wrinkles. And Isabel has a really interesting story because her grandparents lived with them for a very long time. And she also has worked in the field for a long time with older adults and just has really learned to appreciate and value their contribution. And so we're going to talk about that as we think of honor and bringing honor back to really honoring those that are older than us, honoring our elders as we go through life. So looking forward to that conversation, but we're really asking you about your grandma and grandpas and something special or something you want to honor with them, for them, about them this morning. Tricia said, both of my grandmas are still living and loving Jesus at 86 and 90 years old. Wow, Tricia, that is really neat. What a blessing that is to be able to continue to do life together.
Yeah, a great opportunity to just see their faith shine even as they've got the gray hairs.
That's right. So give us a call this morning. Share about your grandparents. Phone number 800-221-9356.
All right. Well, I didn't get rid of the...
That's
buzz.
okay. I got something in my throat all of a sudden.
I didn't get rid of the buzz completely, but I think that's the best we'll get at this point.
Okay, so earlier, Phyllis was asking if it's Funny Friday, and I said, I think that's next week. But she said, you guys are still my funny friends.
Aww.
I like that word funny instead of weird. Strange.
I don't know. You and Ken have been talking about how you kind of want to embrace the weirdness of Christianity.
I actually do want to do that, but not in the definition that we're usually think of weird.
No, not the oddball definition.
Why not the oddball definition, but more of just that God can use our uniqueness and our different ideas to really be put to use for kingdom purposes. And there are people that are so creative at doing that. Love to be able to highlight that sometime and just be able to talk about all the ways that people are using unique ways to tell people about Jesus.
Yep, to find the fellow weirdos out there.
That's right. We're all together. Hey, Dave, good to have you with us again on this Friday morning as we go through our mid-morning show coffee break. And we're talking about grandmas and grandpas and the blessing they are in our life and how we need to honor our elders. In fact, we're going to expound on that with Isabel Tom here in just a few minutes. But I think, do we have somebody on the line? Okay. Good morning. Who's this?
Carolyn.
Hi, Carolyn. So did you want to tell us about your grandma and grandpas?
Well, both of my grandparents raised everything from scratch. You know, they made everything from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandmother, they always made homemade biscuits and gravy, and one always made, homemade angel food cake, and they canned everything they grew in the garden.
So, Carolyn, as you sat down to eat what they so lovingly prepared, what was the feeling when you did that?
Hungry.
I thought you maybe comfort or just warmth.
Well, it was fun and unique. And, first of all, you see them sitting down, not open up a can. You kept sitting down and looking at that. Oh, really? We have to eat that? But it was... But it was enjoyable, though.
Yeah, that's neat.
To look back now, but...
Thanks, Carolyn, for calling. Have a great day.
And you too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, next call we'll take
You want to do it live? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that.
And, first...
It's 7:20 in the morning here at Ken and Deb in the morning. Ken is off today, and he'll be back on Monday morning, Lord willing. But we're talking about Grandparents' Day. It's coming up Sunday, and maybe some unique and special things about your grandma and grandpa. And I think we've got somebody on the line. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning. This is Janelle.
Hi, Janelle. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing really well, Deb. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's good to hear from you.
You too. It's good to hear your voice. I actually know you from...
Yes, I
used
know.
to work at the church you go to. So.
Yep. In fact, I knew your grandparents, but what did you want to share about your grandparents?
Well, I was going to talk about my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
He was a storyteller, pretty much, and loved to talk about it. But I didn't hear a lot of stories about this until after he passed. And I have pictures right in front of me. I was looking at where he went out west with his brother in the 1920s.
Wow.
And it's before the national parks were made parks, and where that area was made parks. So he and his brother went out in their old car, and they were adventurers. And he has pictures of Indians in the Black Hills. He has pictures of, he went out to, the Badlands was a big one that he did talk about. And he brought me some rocks and some petrified wood and all kinds of things that he gave me later. And I have a little box of all of these things that he gathered from that. And I was a big rock collector when I was younger. So he gave me all that, and then he gave me some of the items that he had picked up. They weren't just rocks. Some were minerals. Some were even a big piece of copper. It was just really neat. But he talked about this, and he just had so many adventures in, especially South Dakota. But he said he went out to California. He'd been through the Rocky Mountains.
Wow, really
And I have a
neat.
picture of buffalo here in South Dakota. I mean, they pretty much did everything. And they went up to Canada. There were so many. I mean, I've got just a variety of different pictures I'm looking at, but even some of the things they went to was the Buffalo Bill Cody area, Custer, South Dakota, and I have some pictures where there's an Indian maid to be married. It's just really fascinating.
Yeah.
Gold Discovery Days in Custer, South Dakota, and Needles Drive out in the Black Hills. So I was just fascinated because I really haven't seen the pictures, but I heard stories. And my father had given me some of these pictures to look at because I'm the ancestry person in the family, and I scan them and then put them in order. So
That is so neat. Wow, you're keeping the family history alive, Janelle. That is really cool. You know what I remember about your grandparents? They had a lot of people over for Sunday dinner every week.
They sure did. And my grandmother loved to cook.
Yeah,
She was a very
Clover.
good cook.
Yeah.
She did like to have people over a lot, and we were over there with a lot of times the people who would come first time to church or that were new to the church. They would invite them pretty much right away, and then all of the rest of our family was usually invited oftentimes. So it was those were good experiences. So it's just something that you remember, and I think that's probably, my grandmother's probably where I got my love of cooking and a pretty table.
That's really neat. Thanks, Janelle, for calling. Great memories. Thanks for calling this morning. Have a great day.
Welcome. You too.
Take care. Here's Hillsong United, Not Today, as we continue our morning on Ken and Deb in the morning. Well, that was really nice talking with Janelle this morning. And Nancy said, my grandma who lived in Carbon Cliff lived across the street from the Methodist church, and she kept the extra key for the church in case someone needed to get in. She sat on her front porch a lot, and nothing got by her. On New Year's Eve, she would let us grandkids 2 at a time over for the night, ring the bell, and the pull of the huge rope would lift us off the floor. Oh, that is really cool. Then she'd enforce going to bed. We each slept on a Davenport. She was so much fun to be with. Isn't that neat? That's really neat, Nancy. What great memories of your grandma. That was one thing my mom loved to do is watch out the front window, and she kept track on everybody in the neighborhood. Well, it's Grandparents' Day on Sunday, so as we let you go into the weekend, be sure to remember that. Honor your grandma and grandpa. Give them a big hug. Well, I don't know if you can at COVID-19, but, blow them a kiss, send them a card, and let them know how much you love them. Have a great weekend.